Hello everyone and welcome to the class. So in our subject secondary or senior secondary education, in continuation with the previous topic, we are going to study today the teaching of social science or the recommendations given by NCF 2005 to be conducted at various school levels. The learning objectives for today's class is to understand the aims of social science education at different stages of school teaching, to apprehend the main objectives of social science education as mentioned in NCF 2005, to develop awareness of the various recommendations to improve social science teaching in school curriculum. So teaching of social science is very important, and studying of social science is very important for students. How? It enables students to understand the society in which they live. They need to learn how society is structured, managed, governed, and also various forces which seek to transform and redirect society in various ways. So, as a citizen, as a future citizen, they will be able to bring changes in society if there are anything they need to change. They will also be able to appreciate the values enshrined in the Indian Constitution, as Indian Constitution mentions a preamble before the Constitution, which have the words like justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, unity, and integrity of the nation. So it tries to make socialist, secular, and democratic society. So this is how it is the introduction of our Constitution, which our preamble gives with inclusion of these words. Students, we want our students to grow up as active, responsible, and reflective members of society. They need to learn to respect differences of opinion, lifestyle, and cultural practices. They also should learn how to question and examine received ideas, various available institutions, or ongoing practices. So teaching is a process by which we know that teacher and students interact and try to make the learning process influential. So first of all, as per NCF 2005, we will discuss what they have suggested for primary stage. The objectives of teaching social science at the primary stage are to develop in the child skills of observation, identification, and classification. So these are the primary objectives for the younger students. To develop in the child a holistic understanding of the environment with emphasis on the interrelationship or the integration of the natural and the social environments. So NCF 2005 wants to interrelate with other subjects like natural and social environments. To sensitize the child to social issues and develop in him, her, a respect for difference and diversity. So from the younger age, NCF 2005 wants that the students should try to learn these kind of skills, try to learn the social issues and also the differences and diversity in our country. So for classes 1 and 2, the natural and social environments will be explained as integral parts of languages and mathematics. So there, as we have discussed that the social science and science subject is integrated at this stage and is known as environmental science, and it should also be an important part of languages and mathematics. So children at this age should be engaged in activities to understand the natural and social environments through illustrations from the physical, biological, social, and cultural spheres. So the language which is being used in the class should be gender sensitive also. So this should be taken care of by the teachers. Teaching methods used by the teachers should be participative in nature and more discussion oriented. For example, we can say the storytelling method, or the students can be engaged in painting, dance, song, music. So all this can be a part of teaching learning process. And for this, NCF 2005 suggested that there should be proper handbooks for the teachers with examples of activities that promote the development of such concepts, and also will direct them how to teach sensitivity towards environmental concerns. And for the classes third to fifth, the subject environment studies will be introduced and will be constituted by a discussion of the natural and social environments. So in these classes, as earlier we saw that in class 1 and 2, the social sciences and the natural sciences were integrated with mathematics and languages. Now here, the subject environment studies has a separate place. So in the study of the natural environment, emphasis will be on its preservation and the importance of saving it from degradation. So we have to discuss matters, concerns regarding environment with the students. The fact that the social environment is constructed by human beings, it should be emphasized. Children will begin to sensitize to social issues like poverty, child labor, illiteracy, caste and class inequalities, the division between rural and urban areas. So this is the first time that they are being introduced to such things, such social issues, and sensitive approach should be adopted by the teacher for discussing such things. So the content should reflect the day-to-day experiences of children and their life worlds. So at this stage, all concepts taught should be activity-based, because at such young age, the students will be able to take more interest through activities only. So whatever activities are being conducted should be complemented with the textual material or the textbooks, or what other books prescribed in our syllabus. So activities should also be based on the related examples from local surroundings. And for this also, NCF 2005 recommends the preparation of a teacher's handbook, so that clear directions can be given to the teachers to how to handle some sensitive topics or the concepts. Now moving on to the upper primary stage, the objectives have changed a little, like to develop an understanding about the earth as the habitat of humankind and the other species and the other forms of life which are residing on earth. Also at this stage, we should initiate the learner to study his or her own region, state, country, not only at the local level but at the global level also. So to also to initiate the learner into a study of India's past with references to contemporary developments in other parts of the world. Also, at this stage, the learners will be introduced to the functioning and dynamics of various social and political institutions, the processes which are going on in this country. So at this stage, there will be subject areas divided in 4 disciplines like history, geography, political science, and economics. So each discipline will be given importance, and they will be so the teachers will try to introduce the students simultaneously to contemporary issues and problems whichever are related to our social science subject or these 4 disciplines. So emphasis needs to be given on the social issues which are very much prevalent in our society and which they are seeing around themselves also. Geography and economics may together help in developing a proper perspective regarding issues concerning environment resources, development at different levels, from local to global. Similarly, if we see in the part of history, then it should be taught emphasizing the concepts of diversity and plurality. The child will be introduced to the formation and functioning of governments at the local, state, and central level, how this is working, and how the democratic process goes on, how we as a citizen participate in all this. So, for example, the voting behavior, this is very much important for a student to know how elections takes place, how our executives are selected, how our government is formed. So this is how the basic things which are going on around the student as he is getting promoted in the next classes, as he is getting matured day by day. He has to learn in which environment he is residing. Now, the next stage is secondary stage, and at this stage, the objectives have changed. And the now NCF 2005 wants the learners to develop in analytical and conceptual skills so that we can enable them to understand the processes of economic and social change and development with examples from modern and contemporary India and also from other parts of the world. Students should be able to critically examine all these kinds of issues and challenges, whatever we have discussed earlier also. So they should be able to judge what is right and wrong. They should understand various rights and responsibilities as a citizen if we are living in a democratic and secular society. So living in this society does not mean that we have rights to exploit, but we have certain duties also, certain responsibilities also. So this thing should be conveyed to the students. They should understand the roles and the responsibilities of the state in the fulfillment of constitutional obligations. They should understand the processes of change, how our society has changed, how our society has evolved, how it has developed in India, also how it is related to the other countries of the world, other civilizations of the world in the form of economy and polity. Students should also learn the quality of appreciating the rights of local communities in relating to their environment, judicious utilization of resources, as well as the need for the conservation of our natural environment. So at this stage, the main focus will be on contemporary India, the things which are going on in present. And the learner will be initiated into a deeper understanding of the social and economic challenges which are facing our nation. So contemporary India, in this perspective, we will discuss into various multiple perspectives, including the Adivasis, Dalits, Naxalism, all the issues which are going on in contemporary India. So efforts should be made to relate the content as much as possible to the children's everyday lives. In history, the contributions of various sections, regions to India's freedom struggle, the history, as we know, has been divided in few phases like ancient, medieval, and modern. So, in these aspects, we need to study the history and to relate the past and the present. So, in the context of developments which have taken place in the modern world. So, in this way, we need to take care of all the disciplines of social science. Now, if we talk about the aspects of geography, it should be kept in mind the need to inculcate in child appreciation of conservation and environmental concerns. And if we talk about political science, the focus should be on discussing the philosophical foundations that underlie the value framework of the Indian Constitution. And there should be an in-depth discussion regarding these terms: equality, liberty, justice, fraternity, dignity, plurality, and freedom from exploitation. So now at this stage, they are able to understand, because till now they have only got the knowledge about these terms, but now they are going to explain, critically examine what are these terms and how are we related to it, and why are these required in our democratic society. And the discipline of economics is also important, as it is introduced to the child, so that topics discussed should be from the perspective of the masses. So for example, the discussion of poverty and unemployment, we need not be giving only the figures and facts or the statistics, but instead we should derive an understanding that how these concepts are working, creating a problem in our society, why inequality is sustained, and how these problems can be removed. So at this stage, these discussions regarding various concepts of disciplines are also important, at that students be introduced to the nature, scope, and methods of all these disciplines, because social science is a very wide subject and it needs to be integrated with all the four disciplines. So it is needless to say that the students should not be overloaded with the additional information, but instead, what the study of social science, how will it impact their knowledge, what will happen in future, and how they will be able to link the present with the future. So this is most important, which they should learn. Now at the last stage, that is the higher secondary stage of the school. So till 10 years, the students have a common scheme of studies, and till that they study compulsory subjects like social science also. But at the higher secondary stage, the choice of streams are according to the need, interest, and aptitude of the students. So here they choose different disciplines according to their interest. So for some students, this stage may be the end of their formal education, leading to the world of work and employment. For others, this stage may be the foundation for pursuing higher education. So this is the age they have become adolescents, and this is the stage where they are going to make their final decisions. So they may choose either specialized academic courses or some job oriented vocational courses, depending upon their preferences. So the foundation which has been laid at this stage should be able to equip them with basic knowledge and the skills which are required, the attitude to make a meaningful contributions to whatever fields they have chosen at this stage. So the courses which have been designed and planned should be done very carefully, and it should keep in view the students' variety of preferences. The foundation of education should strengthen at this stage, and there should be flexibility for the students. They should provide linkages, some experts, some expert advisors, because this is the higher, they are moving to the higher education now. The needs of students should be taken care of, because they must be belonging to different regional, cultural, and social backgrounds. So it should be done into a proper and careful manner. So it is important that our national standards today should also be able to meet the challenges of global competition. So we need to design a variety of courses of studies. And this we can now see in the present scenario is being into, it will be implemented soon with the efforts of National Policy of Education, which has been introduced in 2020. So detailed curricular outlines should be taken care of. Our learning outcomes should be properly determined or identified. Variety of instructional materials should be produced, because now they are able to study on their own. They have learned how to understand the concepts. They learn how to discover new facts. So they may be interested in going through all the extra informations or the extra resources available. So various instructional materials should be regularly prepared, like the audio visual packages or the multimedia packages, and certain innovations should be taking place, like in present conditions we are going through online education. So these things with the help of technology can be improved. So in social sciences also, a variety of courses can be made available to the students. So the students can exercise their choice, keeping in view their preferences. So subjects and courses need not be grouped into separate streams. So this is exactly what NPE 2020 also says. But students may be given the choice of opting for subjects or courses from any group, whatever they like, according to their need, interest, and aptitude. So at this stage, the social sciences is expanded with various kinds of disciplines now. There is political science, geography, history, economics, sociology, psychology. So the list is too much. So at this stage, various kinds of activities can be introduced, and now the students are able to, learn new concepts on their own. So they have become mature. So various kinds of strategies which can be used at higher education can be used for them. So the use of local crafts and the museums is must for should be used at this stage for social science, because in order to make the learning of social science more enjoyable and effective, so there is a need to bring innovation in this field, in the teaching methods which are being commonly used earlier. So, social science learning should involve visits to museums at local level, state level, national level, and if possible, to international level. So now the students may be asked to explore the local surroundings. They should be taken for such visits, some expeditions. They should be able to observe the activities of the communities, local communities who are engaged in different crafts using local skills and materials. So now at this stage, they should be made to visit such places and observe. And if these handicrafts are prepared by the students themselves, they learn these skills, as this kind of concept was earlier given by Mahatma Gandhi in Wardha in the form of basic education. So there he emphasized on the learning of some vocational crafts by the students, so that they can become self dependent at the younger age. So if we want to make them aware of the things which are happening around us, so to we can make use of handicrafts, and it can be displayed in a small corner of the school, and a very own museum for the school can be created. So this all depends on the innovations which the school management tries to bring, or the social science teacher tries to bring. So the schools also could have their own social science museums. So we need to develop certain activities and certain things which would increase the interest in our subjects. So this can be done for other subjects also, and this depends on the innovation and the efforts which the teachers will take. And while during the summer break also, we should give them certain work, so that they can uh, you know create regularly develop interest in their subjects. So they may be asked to make models of historical monuments, charts indicating the effects of volcanoes, earthquakes. They can create puzzles, they can create crossword games. And if the teachers are well aware of the technological tools, they can ask them to attempt quiz, or carry out certain projects on various websites or various tools, educational tools, which are now provided for the students and the teachers. So the teachers need to be aware of all these things, and they have to give some fruitful projects and activities to be conducted by the students. So the students can paint phenomena related to natural environment. They can create certain projects, newspaper or magazine cuttings. This is very important, related to the topics in the syllabus. Could be done by the students. They can create a scrapbook for that, and related information downloaded can be downloaded from the internet. It can be displayed. So the teachers can make use of the display boards in the school, where they can change the information every time, and they can make students do all these kind of things. So they will try to learn more new things. These kind of activities create cooperative learning. The museum could be laid out in different ways from time to time. So there need to be bring changes by the teachers, so that it does not becomes dated. And also, because once the students have visited the museum, they will not take interest in visiting the museum again, their school museum. So it will be fruitful if teachers try to find out new ideas, how to change the displays every time with the help of students. So students may also be involved in other activities, whichever teachers feel like. So this is how the articles which they can find in newspapers, and newspaper reading is a very good habit, and it is one of the teaching aid which can be used by teachers, so that the students can go through various issues and social issues, environmental issues, historical issues, economic issues, all kinds of social science issues or the concepts can be found in newspapers. So newspaper is the biggest resource for learning social science. So they can be asked to find out about the various articles. They can be asked to read the articles, analyze them, discuss in the class, or prepare some project, or prepare a file. So this is how the teacher should encourage them to make use of newspapers especially, and the articles given in the newspapers. Also, addition to that, social science week can be celebrated in the school, in which various kinds of activities can be taken care of, like there could be poster making competitions, essay writing, preparation of PowerPoint presentations, or anything, or preparation of the models. So various activities will make develop the interest in students, and they will look forward to such activities. So students can also be taken for the visit to any museum, center of arts and crafts, local areas, local heart bazaars, local villages, so that they can get the better understanding of everything. Students can be encouraged to watch the night sky, observe the phases of the moon, note the timings of sunrise and sunset, describe the duration of day and night. And this is how they will record and observe everything. They will learn the experiences. They will record these things in a journal, in certain files, in the form of projects. So this is how some flexible timings can be made for schools. It is not necessary that schools should function on a certain format. They can make changes, because in 21st century we need to be learner centered, and we need to focus on the needs of the learners. So this is how we can bring changes in certain conventions which are going on from since ages. We can bring changes. Students can be taken to visit historical monuments. So this is a very important part of making interesting discipline of history. They could be asked to sketch these monuments, write about them, learn about the history, learn about the background, and then later on their projects, their files, their sketches, their reports, they can also be displayed in the school museum, or can be displayed in the school. So the student should be assisted in exploring their interest and aptitudes. So at this stage, if we do so, maybe they are going to pursue the career in such subjects. In order to choose, they will be able to choose appropriate university courses or careers. So this will help in their future also. And also it will encourage them to explore higher levels of knowledge in different disciplines. As we have learned that the problem solving abilities and creative thinking are very much needed for the citizens of tomorrow, so this should be developed in them. Also, we need to introduce students to different ways of collecting and processing data and the information in specific disciplines. They should be able to arrive at particular conclusions. They will be able to generate new insights and knowledges in the process. So what kind of approaches can be taken care of by the teachers during teaching? So it is necessary to revitalize social science teaching to help the learner acquire knowledge and skills in an interactive environment. So here the students need not be passive learners. They should be taught these skills, the 21st century skills, so that they can become active in learning. It has been also noticed that there is an increasing gap between the curriculums and what is happening at the level of the child's perception. So here we can say that careful preparation of curriculum is also required. It is important that the process of learning should promote the spirit of inquiry and creativity among both students and also the teachers. So, the teacher is an important medium of curriculum transaction, and they are the only ones who are going to simplify the concepts to the students in such language that they are able to apprehend that. So, therefore, teaching should be seen as an opportunity for teachers and students to learn together, thus developing a democratic culture within institutions. In order to make the process of learning participatory, there is a need to shift from the mere imparting of information to involvement in debate and discussion. So, as we have repeated this many times, that we need to move on from the theoretical part to the practical part, and the practical part also the participatory part, in which the students are participating in various activities so that they learn by doing, they develop interest in doing things, they try to learn new things, new concepts. So this approach to learning will keep both learners and teachers alive to social realities. Concepts should be clarified to the students through live experiences of individuals and communities. So, if we go through the various NCERT books, you will see that certain examples, live examples of people are given there, and on the basis of that, the teacher tries to find out, ask questions, do discussions with the students, and this is how they try to relate with the problems of the society, of the person who we are talking about, or they can make use of newspaper articles for any kind of relevant national context or relevant democratic principles, or anything which is related to their discipline. So this is how the teachers need to make use of the resources which are available to them. For example, we can say the concept of social equality can be understood better through citing the live experiences of communities. It has also been observed that cultural, social, and class differences, these things generate their own biases, prejudices, and attitudes in classrooms also. So the approach to teaching therefore needs to be open-ended. It should not be imposed on the students. It should be left for the students to judge what is right. Teachers should discuss different dimensions of social reality in the class. So it is a right of the student that they should know all the dimensions of various problems which are occurring before us, and work towards creating increasing self-awareness, both amongst themselves as well as their students. So the provision of supplementary material in the classroom will increase the autonomy of the teacher with the help of a textbook, and also provide a level of confidence in planning activities and projects. So the textbook should not be given so much importance that the students only go through that. There should be some supplementary materials also provided by the teachers, so that some activities and projects can be done at the higher levels. So the need for a finite syllabus to incorporate infinite cultural and local context can be taken care of through the generation of these new instructional materials, which need to be prepared by the teachers, so that some extra information can also be provided to the students. The National Focus Group also discussed the adverse effects that the minimum provision of the infrastructure, the poorly qualified teachers, have on the learning of the discipline. So here comes the importance of the teacher training institutions. So the linkages between adequate infrastructure and the teaching of social science is not often commented upon, because instruction in this subject requires no obvious space like the way in which a laboratory is required for the teaching of science. So this is the reason we are not giving importance to this subject, because people think that if there is no experiments being done in this subject, this is only based on theory and facts and knowledge, then what kind of infrastructure or what kind of innovation we need to bring in this? But they are wrong for that. However, the effective teaching of social science is crucially linked to the efficient functioning of the school library. So, the reading part, the learning part, the newspapers, the books, textbooks, these are very important part of social science learning. And also of teachers who are trained to use the resources that the library provides towards the creation of challenging projects and activities. So here we can see that a school library will play a very good role in social science learning. And also, we have discussed earlier that this shift from rote learning to comprehension is very important. The implementation of projects is important. The teacher should be able to assess the child's understanding through not only the evaluation, the traditional evaluation, but also through various kinds of activities, the participation activities, and the completion of the project. So the teachers need to create more and more opportunities for the students so that they can manufacture more and more projects, and they need to prepare things. It will also help to modify the prevailing belief that increased marks on project work translates into easy marks to be gained with the least effort. So they should be taught how to do their work originally. It is not on always copied and pasted. So these are the values which we need to teach them. Then we come on the most important part, that is the teacher training. So all this thing of transacting and implementing in the class successfully needs an enabled teacher training. The teaching of social science has not been very effective. Partly the reason can be the lack of an adequate emphasis on teacher training programs. While the pre-service training syllabus needs a thorough review, the in-service training should also be given attention. So it is not only the pre-service training while becoming a teacher. After becoming a teacher also, few in-service teacher training programs specifically for the subject teachers, different subject teachers should be carried out regularly. So the state has to provide the necessary logistical and financial support for effective and frequent in-service training so that the teacher's understanding of the subject is updated. And also the use of teachers' handbooks in different disciplines of the social sciences should be made mandatory, because in many areas teachers must not be knowing how to use them, how to treat this concept, how to carry out the work. So the teachers' handbooks, the direction for that is very helpful. The textbooks, instead of being treated as the only source, should be seen as one of the sources for developing one's understanding. So this thinking should be developed in our teachers. Indeed, many problems like low self-esteem, curricular load, cramming of the notes, rote learning can be addressed and more effectively by an empowered teacher whose capabilities have been enhanced through teacher training. So this is the reason the teacher training is being emphasized here. The time period has also been increased to 2 years so that they can do more and more practical work, and they are empowered with all the skills which are required in today's classes. The outcome of social science research studies could be made accessible to the vast numbers of teachers through serious and effective training, both at the pre-service and the in-service levels. Now we come upon the topic teaching learning materials. As we have empowered the teachers, but they have to learn that how to make available the teaching learning materials to the students. So sometimes they have to prepare for it. Sometimes they can find out for the students through internet, libraries, or various resources. So equal teaching time and marks should be allocated to the various components in the social science. So basically, the social sciences teacher need to take care of all the disciplines at par. So they need to divide equal time and marks for all the disciplines. And there should also be a right balance to be maintained in the distribution of themes among the different disciplines. And wherever possible, the interrelationship between all these disciplines should be indicated. The topics which are given in the teaching learning materials should be logically arranged in the right sequence, and it should be maintaining consistency throughout the syllabus. So this is how we have discussed earlier in the formation of the curriculum, how the content is selected, how the teaching learning material is selected for the so making the teaching learning process of students beneficial. And also, while preparing textbook, it should be ensured that all sections of the book have an equal numbers of chapters. So none of the discipline should be neglected. There should be a proper glossary of technical terms after each chapter, and at the index, and an proper index should be there in the textbooks, and everything which is required to be given in a proper textbook should be checked. So before publication, experts should check for any kind of gender or social bias material which is being given in that. So it is very important to be checked in social science subject. And before publication, the textbooks should be examined so that there is no duplicity, or there should be a uniformity of style. So with this, we come to the end of the topic, and these are certain references which you should go through, as there are references in which you can go through the various social sciences books which are available on NCERT website. And also you can take a look at various concepts or videos. Also, you can find out various ways how you can make social science interesting, going on certain sites. And also the focus group position paper regarding the social science can be read at the ncert.nic.in. So in the end, we will now go on to the evaluation questions. So moving on to the first question, that is, a right balance should be maintained in the distribution of themes among the different disciplines that should be maintained. What should be maintained among the different disciplines of the social science subject? The options are interrelationship, distribution, organization, or setup. So this we have discussed. The correct answer is interrelationship. So the integration, the correlation need to be maintained among the different disciplines of social science, and also the disciplines could be interrelated with other disciplines other than social sciences. Question number 2 is, the courses need to be designed and planned carefully, keeping in view the students' wide variety of preferences at which stage? At which stage we need to take care of the courses which are being designed? It should be done very carefully. The options are higher secondary stage, primary stage, or upper primary stage. So the correct answer is the higher secondary stage, because at this stage only the students are going to choose making choices very carefully for their further university courses, or while making choices for their career. Question number 3 is, which of the following is an important medium of transacting curriculum to students? So we all know that many resources or many people contributes in the successful curriculum transaction in the classroom. And the options are teacher, school building, chart, and school furniture. And obviously the most important medium will be the teacher. Question number 4, a glossary of dash after each chapter and an index at the end of the book should be provided. So this we have recently discussed, that while in the textbooks, what things are very much important? Options are wrong words, no. Technical terms, yes. Old authors, no. Unclear pictures, very much no. So the correct answer is technical terms, so that the students are able to understand about the new concepts or the new terms which they have learned for the first time. Question number 5 is, which of the following activities is not appropriate for creating interest in social science? So this we have learned that if we want to make our social science class interesting, then there should be certain activities which can be carried out in higher stages. And the options are social science week, visit to museum, visit to local art and crafts, laboratory experiments. So obviously the first 3 options are right, and laboratory experiments is the wrong answer, because in social science we do not do experiments by going in the laboratory, but we go to the field and observe right in there. Question number 6 is dash refers to the practice of ascribing to an individual woman or man specific attributes, characteristics, or roles. Options are untouchability, exploitation, gender stereotyping, or accessibility. So, what are the things which should not be done, as we should not stereotype certain people, that what roles should be done by individuals. So the option, the correct answer is gender stereotyping. It should not be done. This is a wrong practice which is being done in our social science curriculum or by the teachers. Question number 7 is the teaching of social science has not been very effective, partly due to the lack of an adequate emphasis on. What is the reason NCF has identified that the social science teaching is not effective? Options are course completion, teaching attitude, teacher training programs, or national programs. So obviously the teacher training programs need to be emphasized, need to be strengthened, because it will prepare and empower teachers so that social science can be made effective. Question number 8 is following point is not vital for social science teaching. Options are to understand the society, to grow up as active, responsible, and reflective members of society, to learn to respect differences of opinion, lifestyle, and cultural practices, or to open various institutions. So the first three options are correct, and to open various institutions is not very vital for social science teaching. Question number 9 is the effective teaching of social science is crucially linked to the effective functioning of the school dash. Options are classroom, playground, library, or management. So this we have discussed that a school library plays a very good role and crucial role for making the social science teaching effective. And the last question is topics should be dash arranged in the right sequence, maintaining consistency throughout the syllabus. So the correct answer is logically. The topics should be arranged logically. Rest of the answers are very much wrong, as we can see. So with this, we come to the end of the topic, and I hope you will go through the video and learn the different concepts through references given in the video. Thank you very much.